Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing the advanced guide for Roblox deadlines. So a couple of weeks ago I did a video on the more basic guide, and that is controls and pretty much just all the basic stuff you need to get going in this game. So if you're new, I'd recommend you check that out. But anyways, for the more advanced of you that just want to continue watching this, well, let's get on with it. Obviously, most of you should know that if you hold shift, you will steady your aim, which, as you well notice, it doesn't exactly stop it. And so especially if you have a more magnified scope like I have right now, you'll see that it doesn't stop moving, even if I'm like this. So one thing that does help a lot is like kneeling down or laying down. So if you hold control, you'll lower yourself, which does help stability quite a bit, and this should be fine in most cases. Although if you're at really long range, like taking super extremely long range, like if someone's up on that hill, this might not be perfect for you. So what you want to do is lay down and then boom. That practically gets rid of all sway, and you don't even have to hold shift. Although if you want, you can hold shift and that'll just slightly increase your zoom, and then you can shoot at them. And another use for that laying down tactic that I told you is, so right now I have the MP5, and normally you think of that as a close range gun, but the MP5 has literally no recoil. So you just strap the 60 round mag, lay down, and boom, you can just fire at people from an insane distance, like on the other side of this map. And this is a giant map. Just make sure you're laying down, and boom. They can't do anything about it. It's absolutely overpowered, especially considering that guns in this game do insane damage, so it doesn't even matter that it's an SMG. It still absolutely shreds at long range. Another thing I want to talk about is, so if I pull out my M4, you might notice that I have this magnifier on it. And I have to say, this thing is insanely good. So this is a situation that it's common, I guess, and that is that, say you're taking shots far away and people they hear you, right? So they're coming and they're gonna come through here. One great thing to do is right when you see them, you click down this and boom, it's much easier to see them. So pretty much if you're just switching from either a close range, like say someone's right here, you can shoot at them, and then you see someone over there, and boom, you can continue shooting at them. It's perfect for something like that. Especially considering this thing practically it takes no time to switch, and you can fire while switching. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the loadout. So as you may know, Deadline has an extremely advanced customization tab. You can pretty much do anything you want to any gun you want, although that is not always a good thing, because one thing that I do notice is people making absolutely insane and useless things. Just absolutely worthless things to the gun. And one of the most common things that I see is that I have a grip right here, and then I have another grip right here. You'd be surprised how often I see people doing that. Like, just don't put a grip here. Especially on your sides of your guns, because holy, it absolutely destroys your visibility. Like, you saw me with that MP5, I had that out, and you just couldn't see anything. My hand was blocking the screen. So I can't believe I have to say this, but just don't put more than one grip, and preferably I would not put it on the top, although it is up to you. I'd reserve the top to something more like a laser, which can actually be useful, especially during night. Another thing I see, people overreacting with the magazine sizes. So I think you get about 5 magazines, maybe 6 in this game. And so just do the math. Do you really need 5 60 round drum magazines? So honestly, I would stick with probably, it depends which gun you're having, because I do see some people using their assault rifles or SMGs like I do as a suppressive gun, which if you're using it as that, then you might need a ton of ammo. But I see people with 2 guns that both have 60 round mags. Makes no sense at all. Okay, and now the last thing I want to talk about in this video is night. So as you may know, sometimes when you play a map it will be night, and as you also may know, judging by this giant box that shows up on the right hand of your screen, you click N to turn on your your night vision. Although, obviously, you can't see anything when it's daytime because, believe it or not, night vision goggles are meant for night, not day. Although, keep in mind that if you are using night vision goggles in the night, I would recommend that you do not use an optic or an electric optic like this thing, just because the reticle will give a big glow and it'll be hard to spot your target. So I'd stick with something that's more like iron sights or something like that. You know, something that won't be glowing everywhere. The next thing I want to see, I want to talk about are lasers. So these, I have a very difficult to see laser. I'm not sure if you can see it. You can probably see it on this tree, the blue thing. But lasers are actually, they're sort of, I guess it's up to you if you want one, because lasers, I mean, generally they're not that useful because, I mean, the only time I'd ever see use is if you're hip firing, but you'd only really be using that in very specific situations, and the hip fire in this game is not exactly the most accurate, to say the least. Let's just say pretty much you'd only want to hip fire if you're within like shotgun range, I'd say that. But one thing that I have to say is never ever, please don't ever use flashlights. I mean, they're absolutely horrible. So pretty much flashlights are in some people's eyes an alternative to night vision, even though they only pretty much light up a very small part of your screen. Like, look at that. That ain't lighting up anything. Also, you can't see, it doesn't light up anything far over there, so it won't really be too useful at far range. Pretty much the main reason that flashlights are absolutely useless so let's just picture this. So you want to peek this corner, right? Should be pretty simple, except you have your flashlight on. Guess what the enemy will see when, like, before you even peek the corner? They'll see your flashlight glowing on the ground. And so they'll see you there, and then so they can just pre-fire, and when you peek out, you'll die. So that's pretty much the main thing that makes them absolutely useless, at least in my eyes. Just that one thing right there. They're absolutely useless when peeking corners. They do so much harm. But anyways, that's it for today's video, so make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.